Narcissists hate your kids. They do. They don't care about their kids. They don't really appreciate your kids. You don't really respond to your kids emotionally, mentally, like physically of like their needs and things they do. The narcissists hate your kids. You're like, that seems really strong. Well, I need you to be able to hear this message today because this might be exactly for you and this might be exactly in the place that you need to hear it. Maybe you've already noticed the narcissist in your life like seems to harbor a strong dislike for your children or even hatred towards them. Maybe you wonder why a narcissist would target innocent children with toxic behavior. Like, what does that actually look like? Why is it there? Why does it seem like he's only invested in the kids when there's something out of it for him? Why? Like, what is actually going here? In this video, we're going to dive into different pieces of the disturbing reality of why narcissist typically displays animosity, hatred towards your children. Of how a lot of times that nice, like wonderful dad at the very beginning starts to fade as the child starts to catch the narcissist in the act of lying, of gaslighting, of doing the things that they say they're not doing, and then they start to realize that it's actually abusive in nature. This process can be slow, the process can be fast. Some of the kids figure it out at 5 years old, some of the kids figure it out at 33. It's a difficult process to be able to work through. But I need you to understand loud and clear that a narcissist doesn't care about your kids at all. Most people think, well, maybe he's a good dad, like he still loves them, he still shows up. He doesn't care about your kids. He only cares about what the kids actually give him or make him look in reality. So I need you to understand why a narcissist hates their kids. Okay? Why a narcissist hates your kids. So number one, okay? Narcissists hate your kids because they are a threat to the narcissist's control and attention. They're a threat to a narcissist's control and attention. Now, one aspect is they're a threat to the attention that they're getting from you. Okay, you see this. Like if you're at a place where your narcissist started to pull away when you got pregnant, leave a comment below. Because there's a lot of people that's happened. You start to get pregnant, you start to have less interaction, less communication, less sexual experiences with the narcissist, and they start to pull away. Like, you no longer pay attention to me. You no longer give me what I want. You're no longer serving me how I want you to serve me because you're sick, because you're pregnant. Okay? So a lot of times narcissists start to pull away at this aspect. Narcissists, we already know, like, they love the control and the attention. Like, control over you, attention of what's going on, and full control around them. Now, the hard part is when kids enter the picture, it becomes a direct threat to the narcissist's dominance. If you met a 4-year-old, they don't really comply to what a narcissist wants them to do in the moment, right? They have their own opinions. They have their own feelings. They're their own person. And they don't know any better to not stand up to a narcissist. So as a result, they stand up, and all of a sudden there's this big blow up. There's big interaction. And all of a sudden you see the aggressive side of a narcissist come out as they're screaming at your kid. Okay, when a child enters the picture, it ends up being something that threatens the attention that narcissist is going to get and the control piece. Because you can't really control, another person can't control another person. So a narcissist is trying to like control and get conformity. Like, you have to obey me, you have to look this way, like stop disrespecting me, all this kind of stuff. And as a result, the kid doesn't actually respond well because they realize that this person doesn't actually have their best interest in mind. Because on the flip side, like children, they need attention, they need care, they need nurturing, and it diverts attention away from the narcissist. Like, you start spending time working with the kids, like helping with the kids, working with the baby, all this kind of stuff. The narcissist is like, excuse me, like, where's all my attention? Like, where's all the stuff that I'm supposed to get? It challenges the control. It challenges like the dynamic of the narcissist actually getting all that attention from you. How did this show up in your life with having a baby? How did this show up in your life with having kids? How much was your narcissist even involved in that process? Some narcissists never even show up for the birth. Some narcissists disappear for the first 6 months. Some narcissists are unwilling to do anything. Changing diapers, helping with the kids, like bedtime routine, all those different things. The first like 6 months or so of my daughter's life, non-existent. Like, I didn't really contribute. I didn't really help. I didn't help my wife as she was home struggling to recover from a C-section and then postpartum depression and all these things. I didn't care. Like, that was the thought process. That was the mindset. I didn't really care about anyone else because I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted. So then I'm like, okay, I'll find it somewhere else. I'll connect with someone more because that person, daughter, that person was a direct threat towards me. Of me getting what I wanted, of me getting that attention, that validation, because now all the attention was someone else. So basically it's like jealousy. It's like envious. So like envious of someone else because, hey, you just took away. But the narcissist wants to switch around being a threat, being an attack. Okay, you're going to see this at times where narcissists will have this resentment against their own kids, viewing them as being competitors for attention, for resources. They'll bring in this aspect of triangulation, of pitting you against the child, vice versa, to try to be able to undermine what's actually going on. You're going to see this happen with the kids, where the narcissist will undermine their accomplishments, belittle their needs, and even engage in overt abusive behavior. This aspect of the narcissist trying to beat them down and push them down, you might not see early on. They might be non-existent. They might come into their lives for a short window of time, making them feel like the best at ever, but it typically reverts back to being the same exact type of behavior towards you as towards the kids. It's just a matter of time before the kids actually figure it out and see what's going on. Well, I just mentioned this aspect of jealousy and envy because it's very true. Narcissists are envious of others or believe that others are envious of them. DSM-5, one of the criteria right there. Okay, so when it comes down to it with having kids and adding kids into the mix, like there's a huge piece of like envy there. Like narcissists will experience this jealousy piece, this envy towards others, including their own kids, because it's taking something away. It's pulling your attention from them to the kids. It's distracting you from what the narcissist wants. Like this aspect of like struggling with the idea that someone else could be the center of attention. For a narcissist, like really? Like someone's going to be more important than me? Someone's going to have more attention than me? Like you're going to pay attention to that child more than me? Do you see what I mean? Like this is what happens in a narcissistic relationship where the narcissist is like, wait a second, if I'm the center of the universe and this person just came into my life and now they're displacing me as that, one, they're a threat, and two, like I don't want anything to do with them. Like why would I want that? And so a lot of times you'll see a narcissist that'll pull away trying to make you reach out more. Of like, let me start doing the push-pull. I'm going to pull back. You know what? I just don't think this is working out. But why? I need your help. Oh, like you actually want me around? Yeah, I want you around. Like you'll see this like push-pull. Like this aspect of like the kids become this threat to the narcissist. Now, how this envy comes out is like resentment, hostility towards the kids, triangulation, sometimes putting one as a golden child, one as the scapegoat, and a lot of times it'll lead to this emotional and psychological harm. Now, this comes down to the place where you start to wonder, should I stay or should I go? Very popular question with people that are stuck in a toxic relationship with kids. And I always revert back to one of the phrases I saw a while back, which is an absent father is better than a toxic one. Period. Most people want to stay in a relationship to keep it better for the kids because they don't want the kids to grow up in a broken household. The majority of the time, all they really accomplish is just damaging their kids more because they start to show their kids that one, this abuse is acceptable, and two, this is what life actually looks like. And as a result, the kids normally grow up to become narcissists or they grow up to become codependent and get abused by narcissists. It's typically what happens. It's what we've seen consistently over and over. You're like, well, that's not true. A lot of the people that have been abused by narcissists already that are in toxic relationships, some of that stems from their childhood or an abusive parent or a narcissistic parent to start off with. Like, you need to be able to understand, like, a narcissist will harbor this deep jealousy towards the kids, particularly if your kids are receiving attention and love from that parent, from the other parent. Okay, the narcissist might go into great depths and great lengths to undermine the relationship with you. Triangulation, pitting you against each other, gaslighting one and not the other, like moving things back and forth to intentionally create this conflict, this tension, to be able to get back into control, to be able to have the dominance, to be able to have the control and the connection, the idea, the attention, like back on them. All right, then we have the third one, and this one is oftentimes projection and displaced anger. Okay, narcissists typically project like their own stuff onto other people. Like they project when when they're angry, they project it on you. They project all these different things. Okay, they also project this onto the kids. It's not just you. Okay, they'll frequently project like their insecurities, failures, frustrations onto others, including the kids. Like the kids are not like off the hook with this. Like a narcissist will do this with the kids because they don't care. They don't care if it's to you. They don't care if it's the kids. All they care about is let me take what's here, let me project it onto someone else so I don't have to deal with it anymore. So that it's not my problem. Okay? When a narcissist does this, sometimes it'll pull out this deep-rooted self-hatred, shame, which they end up displacing onto innocent and often vulnerable targets. Your kids. Do you see this? Do you see how narcissists will project this onto the kids? Just like he'll project it onto you. Children end up being really convenient scapegoats for narcissists because they can take their unresolved issues, their internal turmoil, and they can just put it on another person. Like, it is your fault. And then the kids start growing up with all these different problems, with all these different things that are going on in their mind, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, and they're like, I don't even know how I got this. Well, it's because you're in an environment where someone is actually projecting and putting that on you over and over and over again. Like maybe you're seeing this in your life where you're seeing the narcissistic partner. Maybe you're looking back on your life and you're like, oh, wow, like that happened to me. Where you were constantly belittled or criticized. You see the narcissist criticizing the child for minor mistakes, for like imperfections, for not being good enough, for not looking the right way, acting the right way, appearing the right way, like showing up in a certain way. And the narcissist will do this harsh treatment over and over and over again because of their own insecurities and own self-doubt, projecting it onto the other person. A lot of times you're going to see this negative self-perception, all different aspects onto the child, blaming them typically for the narcissist's own shortcomings. How does this connect with you? If you have any other questions about narcissism with kids, leave a comment down below so we can try to respond to them, so we can try to work through it to help you in the healing process. Because dealing with the narcissism with kids is like one of the hardest things. To be able to navigate, to be able to co-parent or parallel parent, to be able to get to a conclusion, to be able to get to a way where you have custody, where you have agreements, all these different things, it's so difficult. There's so many layers to it. If you want to have more help, if you want to dive in more like in depth with your nuanced situation, you can go to rawmotivation.com, click on the one-on-ones. I'd love to be able to help you in your healing process and in that journey. We've worked with a lot of people in and out of their relationships, going through the divorce, the custody battle, all different things. I'm not here for legal advice, but I can give you a lot of advice from the narcissist standpoint of what's actually going on. We've got many people that are in some of our programs and challenges to help them get free mentally and emotionally so they have the capacity to deal with the stuff that's going on the other side. So if you want to check that out, go to rawmotivations.com. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, rate, review, send it to someone because you never know who might be struggling with this as well.